Here we go again with another video, and all of these woke people once again saying absolute nonsense, and Charlie Kirk shutting down that nonsense. But before we get into the video, I need everyone to like the video as much as possible, comment down below, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at YinkaThatGuy. So let us get into the video.
I kind of want to ask you your comments on your DEI statement about seeing a black pilot, right? Prior Air Force vet, worked in airframe my 7 years while I was in before I was medically retired. So I fixed them for a while. I become a pilot. Let's say I'm your pilot. You see me. I want to know your reaction to seeing me as your pilot. Yeah. Do you immediately think like, oh, I'm glad I see him? Or
what did I say?
If I remember correctly, you said you see a, I believe you see a black pilot at this time. You're wondering, hey, is this the right guy? This, that, the other. My question is,
you're close. All right, let me tell you exactly what I said.
Sure
okay,
thing, thank you.
So this was in response, first and foremost, to United Airlines, saying that half of all their new pilots that they're going to hire are going to be women or people of color.
People need to start understanding what's going on in society, and what's going on in society with all of this woke nonsense is people being hired not based on merit, but based on the color of the skin or the gender that they are, which is pure stupidity. If people can't even grasp how simple it is and how nonsensical it is to do things based on your gender, which is what they've been fighting for. Apparently all of these woke people have been fighting for people not to be judged based on their color of their skin or the sex that they are, but that seems to be all they do in today's generation. It makes absolutely no sense.
Currently they're 15%.
Okay.
So they want to go from 15% to 50%. A conversation then ensued about how every time affirmative action is employed, standards have to be lowered. There's not a single instance where that does not occur. So then I said, boy, if I see a black pilot, I'm now going to wonder, is that individual qualified, or are they selected because of their race? Comma, but that's not who I am, but this makes me think this way. And I stand completely by that statement.
Okay.
Secondly, let me just finish.
Sure thing. Yeah, sorry.
DEI and affirmative action, what it does is it lowers the merit, it lowers the threshold of standards, and increases things that do not matter, such as skin color and ethnic background.
If you guys have watched previous videos of mine, you will know I say this all the time, and I say that people like to play victim because in today's world, especially in the West, people get rewarded for being a victim. I'm tired of minorities, as they love to call them, always playing victim. As I've said in previous videos, no one is equal. Nobody is going to be equal, whether you're a man or you're a woman or you're black or you're white or you're green or you're yellow, whatever color you are, people will never be equal. You have to make do with what you have and try and get the best out of what you have. But people in today's world love to complain and say, I'm black, I can't do this because I'm black, and because you're white, you have privileges. I have probably faced more racism in the past than many of the people today complain about. I have been attacked physically and jumped by groups of people because of my race, and I don't even have the mindset that I'm oppressed because of my skin color. I make do with what I have, and I try and make the best out of what I have, and I don't complain about things just because I can't get to the same place someone who's white gets to. That's just stupidity and a victim mindset, and that's why all of these people compete in the victim Olympics.
So that is what I said.
Okay, so I just want, like, you see me, and
so if I see you as a white individual, I think that you were selected because of your competency, not because of an affirmative action program.
All right, so let's say I apply as an African American because I am African American. I just look very white, which is legit.
Are you South African or?
No. My father's black. My mother's white.
Okay.
My father raised me, so I identify with how I was raised, who I grew up with, stuff like that. So my point is, I can identify as black and get hired under a DEI, so to speak, saying that I don't get all the proper flight hours. I'm a bomb-ass fucking pilot, all that shit. But you see me, you immediately see that I'm white. You don't. That's not cause for you to concern and be like, I wonder if this guy's got it. You see me, right?
Well, again, just going back to what I said.
Yeah.
A white individual does not have special hiring quotas or practices that are giving them an extra leg up. In fact, it's the opposite. So let me use a similar analogy. At Harvard, white and Asian students had to get 200 or 300 points better score on the SAT than comparable Pacific Islander, Native American, or black students. And this happens across the board. This is happening in medical schools. This is happening in surgical practices. So your example aside, you immediately assume when you see a macro trend that affirmative action and DEI means we're going to elevate race above competency. And I think every single person in this audience, if you go into a surgery and all of a sudden your doctor comes and he says, hey, I was hired because of DEI. I really don't know what I'm doing. You're about to go under. We're about to operate on your kidney. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You're not going to say diversity is our strength. You want the best surgeon.
It seems like these people just purposefully missed the point of the whole thing of what Charlie Kirk was saying. He's just saying that he will be more wary to the people that they're hiring if they're hiring them based on their sex and their race. It's really simple. It's not that complicated. But for some reason, these people love to complicate things that are not complicated at all. If you're not hired based on merit, I will question the validity of the thing that you're engaging in. It's really that simple.
Now, a more important question to ask me is, Charlie, do you believe that black pilots can be qualified? Of course, any individual can be qualified. I want a hiring quota and program that only cares about qualification, not skin color. And thirdly, I would say, why does United Airlines care so much about the color of the pilots that are flying them? Shouldn't they just want the best pilots? When you guys are flying from Vegas to Dallas or Vegas to Chicago, are you going to feel safer or more comfortable when you hit turbulence if you have a diverse pilot, or if you have a cockpit of the most qualified people that are there that have proven that they know how to land and fly planes?
Yeah. Thank you. Just want to ask one more thing for that. How do you, because I saw the video, you used the Harvard perspective as well there. How do you feel about legacies in that regard? Because legacies obviously have a leg up in getting into certain institutions just based on who went there before them that is close to them.
How do I feel? I think legacies are somewhat against merit, to be consistent.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
just want to make sure you're consistent.
But I will say, though, that the study of legacies have been done because their parents are smart. They're usually actually pretty smart. And so the moving average is that legacies aren't nearly as unqualified as some affirmative action people, but there are plenty of unqualified legacies that get into Ivy League institutions, to be consistent.
Sweet, thanks.
Thank you, appreciate it.
It really is that simple. DEI is just a bunch of nonsense to try and bring people in based on other people's feelings, and all of these woke people's feelings is all it really is. It's hilarious that we're having discussions as to whether people should be hired based on merit, but now we're saying that they should be hired based on the color of their skin and their genitals, which is absolute stupidity. It's very funny how years ago we were fighting for this to not be the case, and here we are years later fighting for the same thing once again. But anyway, that was another video, another reaction. As I usually say, if you guys enjoyed the video, like the video as much as possible, comment down below, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on X and Instagram at YinkaThatGuy, and I am out.